You make sure. She can stay on here if you want.
My foot was caught, I couldn't get out of the way.
It's live
Just
right now.
do me a
I'm live
favor,
right
let her see you.
Facebook is live right now.
Oh, it is, awesome. Let her just see you.
I did it before anybody got on, you know, even if it's early, so this way, hopefully
Will it keep you
we'll
on?
stay on. Yeah, depends on the connection. And crazy, hey, everybody, I'll be there in a minute.
Show your daughter that you're here.
She saw me.
Or should we only do one page? You're gonna stay with your dada.
You know, people can hear you, you know. Hey guys, just bear with us. Just getting set up. Everybody that's in here, obviously it's early. You can jump back in, jump off, whatever you want to do. Just getting set up. Well, you guys are in early. Came in early to see the comedy show, huh? So the meeting will start at 8 o'clock. We're a half hour early, just making sure we're getting everything set up on time because the last couple nights we've had trouble with Facebook Live because of all the storms in the country. Seems that the internet connections were just a mess. So I apologize for last night's meeting. Great education, but the internet connection was horrible from the educator side. But we did our best and she did her best. So we'll see how it goes tonight. Hopefully the internet will hold out. I hope everybody was safe from all those crazy storms last night. Hey, Iva. And yes, we're way early. So what is the drinking word for tonight? or for this afternoon for that matter, right? Participants, attendees. If you're on as an attendee, great to see you in here early. Obviously, we're not getting started for a little while. Yeah, educator's on at 8. You can stay for the pre-show, which is always fun. What's up, Steve Stratland? So tonight is Tina Black. Tina's going to be talking about leadership and a couple other things. So it should be pretty cool. Tina's awesome. So. Here, in case any of you don't know, I'm going to share my screen while we're waiting for people to get on. And I'm going to show you the schedule, the lineup. I know a lot of you have been asking. So let's jump in here and take a look at the lineup. So we got... If any of you hear my dog whining in the background, just ignore her. She's telling us she wants a snack even though she just ate dinner. Okay, if any of you ever want to see the class schedule, you just go on the Beauty Biz Reset website and go under event classes. Or for that matter, a lot of you educators keep asking how to join up. Right here, Educator Registration. So here's the event classes. We are still filling some in. Looks like we're going to be going all the way into May here, not just the 30 days. So we are, let's see where we are. So if you scroll through here, and remember, you only have to register once to be registered for the Zoom. So Tina is doing 5 strategies to help you weather this crisis and come back stronger than ever. Tomorrow night, we're going to have Jay Williams. Jay's pretty awesome. Then we're having Gino Stampora. Then we are having Jackie Young. Then we are having the famous Nicholas French. Then we are having Patty Mead. And we're having Steve Reese from Salon Interactive for online retailing for everybody. Then we are having none other than Stacy Sobel from Salon Today, the editor-in-chief of Salon Today. That should be fun. And we're going to have me. That should be really fun. Jim Bauer from Salon Interactive, Oscar Valencia, me again, Sarah on memberships, me on marketing, and then we've got a bunch of open dates that we're going to be booking a bunch of other educators for. So that's the lineup. In case you guys ever wonder what's going on, what night of the week, just jump in here and take a look at it. The other question I get is, where are the videos? Everybody's asking, where are the videos? Just go to the Salon Ops YouTube channel. Now mine's going to show a few more videos than what you would see because we have a bunch of hidden videos for paid education. But when you're in here, you'll see all the classes under our YouTube channel, which is Salon Ops, 2 words. Okay. So let's see what that looks like for you guys. And there it is. So that's it, Salon Ops. And you'll see a picture of the Beauty Business Reset. So that's that stuff. If you guys had any questions, where to find the classes and how to register or to see who is on, now you know. So, okay, let's see who is joining in here. Participants. Hey, Oscar, what's going on, man? So also a few of you have asked about our marketing platform. If you want to join on, it's called Salon Ninja. Just email me before you join on because I'm going to be giving everybody from the group, I'm not sure if it's going to be 6 weeks or 2 months yet, free of the platform, but we're going to give it to you free until you start back up in business. Okay. And this is the platform. It's salonninja.com. Just our gift to all of you group members is we're going to give it to you to get set up free, start marketing, start using it prior to going back in business. Then when you're back in business, we ask that you pay us then, and it is not expensive. The feature list is 1,000,000 miles long, and you can get the base version for $99 a month. And we guarantee that it makes you your money, whatever you pay for the platform, $99 or $199. Don't worry about these. These are coaching programs. If you're interested, hey, more power to you. If you're not, no big deal. But this is for the platform itself. And we guarantee that if you don't make this amount of money from the platform in any month that you're paying, you get your next month free. So it's a pretty good deal. Again, that's Salon Ninja. You can find it at salonninja.com, but shoot me a private message so I can get you in on the freebie deal until you reopen. Okay. So let's see what we have going on here. We got some questions and stuff. So let me stop my screen share. Bear with me. Okay. So who do we have in here? We got Phyllis, Oscar, Heather, Delia. Somebody had a, let's see, chat, I guess. Hey, Oscar. Did someone raise their hand for a question? Anybody have any questions? Anybody on Facebook Live have any questions about the stuff I just talked about prior to the class? Boy, you guys are an exciting bunch tonight. Let's get fired up. I know everybody's getting a little worn down from this whole might as well be in prison thing, because that's what it's like. Even if you're in a nice house, it's still like being in prison. Especially when you're surrounded with your kids and your wife and your dog and your husbands and all that great stuff. I got to get up in the morning and listen to Steve singing to me on YouTube Live. Go Stratland. Hey, Lisa, Barbie. So tonight is not going to be as long as last night. That I promise. Probably 1 hour. So from 8 to 9. The before show right now. 20 minutes we've got till it fires up. I just wanted to make sure that I do love that shit, Stratland, singing Led Zeppelin in the morning. Come on. Hey, Dawn. I like this stuff. This is fun. I love getting on this stuff. Everybody chatting. It's like real world stuff all of a sudden. Sitting in a house all day staring at computer screens is kind of boring. Okay, you're going live at 9:15. What are you singing tonight? Little Stone Temple Pilots or something? What are you singing? You're going to rock some hair. Does that mean you're going to wear a wig or you're actually going to cut some hair? Just joking, man. Hey, Joe. Novak's on. I'm going to guess June 1st, Joe. I mean, maybe some of the more rural areas before then, but I can tell you, New York, New Jersey, we're not getting back to work till June, unfortunately. Although on a good note, I did hear that some people are starting to get some money today. One of my clients got a couple $100,000 today from the Small Business Association and the bridge loan, and the paycheck loan all at once. So that was good. I haven't gotten anything. I can tell you I applied the end of March and nothing came through yet. So Stratland, you're hilarious. I hope you're going to color and we'll call you like Stripe from the Gremlins. So all you guys that are on the Zoom live, that's some of the people on the Facebook live. Got a good gang in there already, joking around. You guys are quiet. You have any questions for me beforehand? Business questions, whatever. Type them in the chat bar, and I'll see what I can do to answer you. From Phyllis, thank you for the marketing. I will definitely check it out. Yeah, no problem, Phyllis. Just make sure you message me if you want it. This way, you're not paying for it for either a month or two. Give you a head start on the game. Oscar's multitasking. He wants to get on the Facebook Live too. Oh, please. Santander doesn't have an application. I have Wells Fargo. I can't wait until they open the lobbies again. I'm going to switch banks so quick your head's going to spin. Even though I have 100 different things attached to it, I'm out of there. Wells Fargo has got to be the worst bank on the planet, period. They screwed us with the accounts. I was one of the persons that got hit. They had 4 extra accounts on me that I never even opened. I got a check for a whole $13 for them doing that. Yay. They suck. They really suck. Florida bridge loans are out of funds already. Oh, God. Yeah, and I heard that Congress is holding up the expansion. So how nice of them. Screw the business owners. We're going to play politics, right? Honestly, I think we should all get together as one big voice and vote them all out of office. Every single freaking one of them. My 2 cents for the night on a political rant. Who is issuing PPP? So my bank wasn't doing PPP, so I went through Fundera and Cabbage. They're 2 big companies that are doing it online for anybody. Haven't heard back. I mean, they accepted the loan. I just haven't gotten any money yet. So if you have a local bank that says they're out, by all means, you should look to a national bank. Of course, the banks are stalling, Steve. What happened in the bailout? They were supposed to give us money for loans, and they kept all the money. Typical, banking system. That's why we need to do away with the Federal Reserve and the banking system the way it is. Bunch of thieves. They can borrow at 0% or negative interest and then charge us ridiculous rates and make it hard for us to get a loan. Come on, something wrong there. Hey, Teresa, Gail, good to see you in here. Jennifer, if I miss anybody, let me know. Victoria, Phyllis, Oscar, I said hey to you already. Heather, Delia. And here comes one of my partners in crime. Hey, Tina. Can you hear us, Tina?
Yes, 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 yes. How are you?
Come on, you jumped in for the before show, right?
Yeah.
That's always the most fun, the before show.
I like the before show. I'm usually on every night for your before show.
I'm gonna get what's that show with Andy? Watch What Happens Afterwards on Bravo, right? I'm gonna get one of those shot. What are they? Those shot luge, right? The board with the shot glasses, and we're gonna have to do that on here.
Oh, I love it. I know. I was like, I'm not sure if I should grab a glass of wine or a cup of coffee. Wasn't sure, so I grabbed water instead.
Coffee with red. I mean, nah. How about vodka and Red Bull?
Yeah, there you go. Connor,
My age, I'd have a heart attack drinking that.
How's your
I just grab an iced tea glass and I tell my wife it's iced tea, and it's, you know, Jack Daniels or something good. I'm good. How are you, Tina?
That's awesome. Really good. Thank you so much for
Good.
having
Yeah.
me tonight.
We are waiting for, obviously,
fun.
James to jump in. He'll be in with us, and Andrew will be in with us. And then we got Facebook working tonight. I did it early before everybody decided to jump on, and it bogged out like last night. Been having a lot of problems with Facebook.
I saw that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I guess everybody picks 8 o'clock at night to go Facebook Live. I don't know.
Yeah. It's funny. We just started this same thing, doing the Facebook Lives off of Zoom for the first time. And since this, of course, the pandemic and everything. So we've kind of shifted and changed everything because all of our schools went to distance training. So we had to upgrade all of our Zoom accounts.
I know. I think mine is like, I think 180 a month right now for Zoom is what I pay. That's crazy. It's crazy.
I know.
Crazy.
Yeah. I don't even know what we're paying, but yeah, it is crazy.
For the one to be able to do Facebook Live, I think it's 180. Well, that's with 500 attendees. 100 attendees, I think, is around $100. So
okay.
There goes Nikki. Hey, Nikki, we have internet connections tonight. I hope you do. Just an inside joke.
Poor Nikki. I know my internet sometimes will go out too. It depends, you know. It's kind of crazy.
Well, last night we had all those storms, right? So I think everybody had internet connection problems last night, but it was pretty wild, Where's our buddy James? He should be
absolutely.
In here. Usually setting. Oh, there he is. I got to promote him. So you had no problem coming in on the panelist link then, obviously.
Yep, no problems. Thank you very much.
Every night, my co-host James here, I have to bring him in from an attendee.
What's up, kids?
What's up, James?
How you doing, Tina?
What shirt do you have on today? Oh, well.
Oh, well, whatever.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Whatever.
That's my answer to the SBA bullshit at this point. Everybody's applied, and it's like, oh, well, whatever. Never mind.
Yep.
Hey, Sarah. Hey, Nikki. Nikki said it's about time you got on, James.
Yeah, you know. I know. I posted some weird Matrix thing on my Facebook.
I was going to say, Nikki got on last night, but it's her first picture so far coming through.
Yeah. So funny. She commented on a post I put up at like 3:30 in the morning. And then I got up and I sent her a message at like 6:30 in the morning, and she answered me back in like 10 seconds. And
yeah, I don't think she sleeps, period.
No, I'm like, are you like Dracula?
Christine's in here, your buddy, Christine Zielinski, is on Facebook Live. So.
Oh, yay. Hi, Christine.
She's famous for sending me those texts while I'm sleeping, too. I'm a night owl. I stay up all night. Christine gets up at like, I don't know what the hell time, 3 o'clock in the morning or something.
Oh, I know. I do most of the time too. It's crazy. That's when all my creative things start happening. Should I practice showing my screen here real quick just so I can
Okay, yes.
make sure I know what I'm doing? Okay, very good. Share screen. Just want to make sure if it shows desktop. Okay, yeah.
Just drag it up so it's towards the top. There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then you could increase the size, because even if you hit full desktop, what I do is on the Zoom, the one we're on, I have split screen on, so I can actually adjust the size of your desktop for you based on these.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Perfect.
You know what's funny, Tina?
Yeah.
Is I have a stack of books that, I always aspire to get to, which I promise that tomorrow I'm going to start. And I think I have your very first book, Be Amazing.
Stop. You've got to be kidding.
I swear, if it wasn't downstairs, I would run and grab it. And I have to be honest with you, you are amongst a very eclectic and interesting crew of books that I have. So I'm very, I saw the background and I'm like, wait a minute, I have that book. It's got a red cover. I feel like I have it. So
that's funny.
I promise tomorrow I'll take a picture of the books that I have.
Yeah.
And I hope that you are inspired by the crew that you're with. So of course, the E-Myth and all that bullshit that everybody reads. But there's some really, really good businessy type books that are there, and you are amongst the really good crew that I'm just going to try to.
Thank you. I hope so. I hope that's the right book. I love it. How do you think you got it? Where'd you get it from?
You know what? I don't know. It's funny that my thing now is that I don't get any books anymore at salon type things unless the author is there to sign them. So like Win Claybaugh's been at events and I busted his balls and he signed my book, and Jay, who's on tomorrow, the same thing. Jay, it's funny. And as an author, because you have a few books, Jay does this really funny thing because he's very into the psychology side, but he's sort of an introvert, which is funny. That you go and you see him and you know him, and then he passes you off to the person next to him and then leaves. He's like, "Oh, do you know each other? Great." And then you turn around and he's in the bathroom. So you have to learn how to do that as you become, you only have like 9 books, so.
It's so crazy is my book Beyond Comment, the manuscript just got completed tonight, an hour before I got on the call. So that's coming out. It's a book I wrote with my daughter. So that's the 4th book down here, Beyond Comments.
Very cool. Well, it made me think of it because Win is with you on your website, and I'm taking a look at it, and it's really funny. So
do you know Win really well?
I only met him once at an event, but what's really funny is Win's husband and I are friends on Facebook.
Oh, yeah,
we
George.
like each other's kid pictures and dog pictures and stupid stuff. And the same thing is with Kevin Murphy. So Kevin Murphy's husband and I comment on each other's pictures all day. And I've met Win once, and I've never met Kevin Murphy in my life, but I know both of their husbands, and I'm friendly with the husbands. So
I love it. That's so funny.
That's how I infiltrate into this industry.
Yes.
Is I go after the better half.
That's awesome. That's important right there.
It's good, but what's funny is if anybody that's ever seen Win, I know you're starting to get a few people in here now. I feel like his thing is to make you cry.
Yes.
Like that's what he wants to do.
100%. Yes.
And it's like, he just has to break you to do like.
Yep.
He's
very good at that. Yeah. Very good at that. I know I can't ever wait to really hear him because he always has something new, especially for us owners. And I always, have something to write with and just jot down word for word what he says, of course, because he always has something really profound to say that just kind of eats at your heart. It's incredible.
Well, it's funny too, right? That people that have seen him before are like waiting for the punchline. So I'm in a seminar, and Art of Business did this great thing called camp. They've done every year for a while. And, it's a pretty big, maybe there's 400 owners that are there, and, you had drinks with them the night before, and everybody's at a table eating the stupid bagels and crappy donuts and whatever. And he gets up, and people that have seen him before are starting to cry before he even gets to like the punchline. And I'm looking around and I'm like, oh, like, but he was great. He was really good.
Yeah, he's He is so amazing. He really is. It's crazy. He's definitely pushed us as Paul Mitchell owners to become motivational speakers. That's for sure.
Yeah, and you
Oh
know what
God.
too? I love when things are make
Christine
sense.
just typed she's learning how to TikTok. We're all in trouble.
Oh
Yeah.
boy. Yeah, I kind of started doing TikTok too, but I'm not doing the dances yet, but just a couple little silly things, but I'll definitely
One of
have
my
to figure
coaching
out the
clients,
dance.
Sarah posted in the group or I posted it for her, and she did the most hysterical one I've seen from her whole day, from going in the morning, blow drying her hair, blow drying her dog's hair, putting it in a mohawk, and then it was afternoon martinis with the doll heads, and then something else. It was just hysterical. Oh, playing cards at night with the doll heads. So
Yeah.
people are doing really funny stuff.
My
Uh-huh.
little one is my Snapchat and my TikToker, so it's like all day long.
How old are all of your kids that you
So I
guys
have
have?
a seventh grader, sixth grader, and third grader. And my third grader is she is the absolute worst. So I don't know. She's always, and I've
The
said this every
youngest?
call, right? She's always the one that the teacher says, "Oh my God, she's so sweet, she's so shy, she's so nice," and then you see her at home, and she's like bouncing off the walls, like she's drinking Red Bull and vodkas all night, and
That was my daughter. My
TikToking,
daughter,
and
everybody used to say, she's so polite, she's so respectful, she does great grades, come home, and it was like the Damien child.
uh
And she's still like that at 20, she's going to be 23.
yeah.
How old are your kids, Derek?
I just have one, she's 23.
Okay. One. Okay. 23. Is she in
I'm an old
business
guy.
with you? You're an old guy.
Oh, God, I would have not a hair on my head. No, she's in college forever.
Oh, okay. A professional student. Gotcha.
Exactly.
That's
Her and her
awesome.
boyfriend, who they're getting engaged. He just got accepted to Columbia's one of the research programs. So yeah, they're both nerds. They're going to be in school for 100 years. Totally opposite of my wife and I. And it's like, God, am I going to have to support you the rest of my life?
I love it. So, Derek, I know you have a consulting business. Do you still have salons as well, too?
No, so I had the 3 salons. I had 2 here in New Jersey and 1 in California, and I sold them all.
Okay.
That's I can make a whole story in that. Never hold a mortgage on your own salons. I'll just say that after 5 years of a lawsuit. So we won though, so that's a better note. But getting the money
Wow.
back is a whole different thing, right? My attorney's the only one that made money. But anyway, they're still successful though, the salons. No, I should say I have 50 salons because on a regular basis, I coach about 50 salons, and I personally, some coaches will do once a month calls and things like that. I vest myself with the salons, and I'm available 24/7, like they're my own salons. It's just my style of coaching. I believe that a coach or a consultant should be available whenever they have an issue, and let the owners make their decisions and then walk them through those decisions. Otherwise, you're just forcing your opinion on them and you're not coaching them. So that's just
Yeah.
the way I feel about things. And we just launched this.
I agree.
It's been huge. Our software company has taken probably, oh my God, you can't believe the amount of time to launch a software. So, and we're excited about that. Kind of in the starting stages. I know James has it, a copy of it. A couple of people just got copies of it. It's pretty new, but we are like super excited about it. It's the first platform. All the industry has all these softwares that can book appointments and other things. And they say they market, but they really don't market. They market to your existing clients. So basically, all of them are just communication tools to your existing clients. Ours actually goes out and gets you new clients. Our average person's getting 100 new clients a month off of the system prior to this.
Oh, wow.
So without spending a dime except in advertising. So it's been very successful. So when we launch, we're actually given a guarantee that the software will pay for itself for your next month. It's free.
Yeah, and I got to tell you the truth.
Incredible.
We've been using it. It's funny that's Derek's joke for a long time. Is I've had it for a long time and didn't actually use it. And during this time and trying to communicate with clients fast and furious without doing, you do an email blast monthly and all that stuff. But when you had to drill down week by week as you have to keep closing out, I'm texting them, emailing them, and doing a voicemail drop all in the same software week by week as we go, and they can communicate back to me through the software. So they think I'm a rock star, right? That we're so, and don't get me wrong, we love our clients and it's crazy, but we're dealing with SBA, we're dealing with staff on unemployment, we're dealing with, all the other stuff that goes along with being closed for a month. But they appreciate the fact that they feel like they're being constantly communicated with. And it's been a godsend, because if I had to do it through my phone, I'd lose my mind.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
so the platform for
That's
your existing
incredible.
clients, Tina, will communicate with your existing clients in any format you want, from Facebook Messenger to actually ringless voicemail drops, which are super successful right now. Just so salon owners can keep their clients up to date with what's going on, right? Through every channel that can happen. That's not what it was meant for, but it has that capability. It's meant to go out and get new clients, but what a platform to communicate with your existing clients. And Christine, I saw your message. Hold on, Christine Zielinski, no copy here. Yeah, because you can never pin your feet to the ground and get it done.
Hilarious.
Hey, quick
Hi,
question.
Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
Good evening. Hey, Tina, how are you?
Hey, thank you so much for setting this up.
Hey, question. Does anyone have a way to say no to clients who want curbside pickup for color?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Do we kick them to the curb? What do we say?
You say yes, because you're going to get, I saw a post today. Okay. And
I
I'm
know.
not getting in the
Color
middle.
wow. That's
Andrew,
what
I'm not
we
getting in the
use.
middle of this thing, but I saw a post today that somebody's client went to somebody else and they were going to divorce him. You know what? You're a dumbass. You're going to divorce the client. You should be thankful they're going to come back to your salon.
We know that is absolutely so. That on
Andrew, hold on, I gotta answer
rational
one
level,
question.
for sure. We're talking emotional stuff. So
Oh, yeah.
does anyone have a suggestion?
Well,
Someone
you know what?
reached
And it's
out to
funny.
me.
I'll give you two interesting points. So two voicemails that came in today, which New Jersey, especially where we are in Bergen County, we're already in a state till the end of May at this point. Our governor is going to speak on Friday, which I'm sorry, May 1st was the potential date, which we all know is going to go out. I have a feeling Friday he's going to cancel school for the year, and maybe we're lucky if salons can open the first week of June, if not the middle of June, who knows. So I had two clients call. One had an appointment that was already canceled, and she's a pretty regular client, 4 weeks and a little bit older, short hair, so the haircuts and the colors need to be maintained a little more. That wanted to push an appointment into June. And then another client of ours who her husband has never been to us, but she wanted to book an appointment for him in July. So I had to tell them both, I am not booking anything. I don't even know when we can open. I have 400 clients I have to get back in the book, and I appreciate the new client from your husband, and I appreciate the 4-week client that we're going to figure it out. But it just goes to show you how much they really rely on us for what we do in this industry. So whether you like the curbside or don't like the curbside, we've already fought this war before. You can't ask me because you don't want to know my answer. I don't.
I do. I do. Wait, I do. I want to start turmoil.
Well,
Here it
We're having a
goes.
scotch.
yeah, and I'll tell you what, and here's my thing, is that my problem is like everything else on Facebook now, that if somebody wants to talk about SBA loans and it's not Jeff from Aura, or if it's not Nikki Lee, I don't want to listen to anybody else unless it's somebody from the SBA calling me, because I don't know anybody else that knows as much as the two of them or spends as much time. The same thing when somebody posts about whether they like it or not, all I want to know is the legalities. So my insurance company that I've been paying for the last 10 years wouldn't cover me under any policy or any virus or anything for being shut down. So once the color is mixed in your salon, just so you all know, and this is, I've talked to an attorney about this. Once you take the two parts and you mix it and you put it on your client's head, you are no longer covered by the manufacturer because your hands touched it. So whether you're sending it in parts or sending it pre-mixed, there's no liability because you're already liable at that point. And in a state like New Jersey, so what's
There is liability, not liability insurance. You're not covered.
exactly, and
You
that's
are
actually,
liable.
exactly. So that's a great point, Andrew. And what's interesting with New Jersey is New Jersey has a clause, which a lot of states do, that says that if you go to a senior citizens facility or a nursing home and you do hair, your license will carry. If you go to a penitentiary or you do to something that's incarcerated, your license will carry. If you do models before, during, or after, your license will carry. And if you mix a product for a client, perfume, cosmetic, whatever it is, and it is a retail product, it is not something that you're performing a service, whatever, it's still your license will carry. So you can do that as a service. So my thing is that whether you like it or not, I don't care. Just don't keep posting it's illegal. And people said, I talked to State Board. I know somebody at State Board.
State
She's
Board.
been there for 40 years, right?
Oh my God, what a joke that is.
So I'm just telling you is
Yeah.
that I know somebody in State Board. She's been there for 40 years. State
Right.
Board in New Jersey is closed. She has not been in since the 15th of the month. So when you tell me you called State Board, I want to know who you talked to, because was it, I can't imagine who you talked to.
Guido at State
First of
Board.
all,
Guido.
no disrespect,
Oh, it's
because
Ruben.
I know,
No,
Andrew, so
it's
James-
I know we have
James,
state board
in
members
the
from
state
other
of New
states, not
Jersey,
not New Jersey, but we
if
have.
I
state board
am
members
a salon
from states
owner
that are in the group.
and I
And,
mix
go
and
ahead.
I mix color and I put it on the curbside and the client comes zooming by and picks it up and she applies it, I am liable, but I'm not covered.
Well, there's a way, James, let me answer something quickly, because this is directly from an attorney. If you have a waiver, you will be covered. So just make them sign a digital waiver. Listen, L'Oreal, Madison Reed, all those other companies that are doing the exact same thing, are they liable when somebody screws up their head? Not really. They're doing it. Now, if a state board tells you you can't do that, then say, no problem. Call Madison Reed, call L'Oreal,
No,
call
I
all those other
just-
companies. I'm just making a point, Andrew. But yes, you could be liable. We could all, listen, you could be liable for
I
any
really,
mistake.
Derek,
People can sue you,
Derek,
but listen,
Eric, someone asked me the question and I told her I'd ask. My answer is do what you have to do to make the client happy. They're stressed. And if you
Bingo.
have a hairdresser who's giving you gumph, then
Hmm.
Well,
you're gonna lose.
but here's the,
you're
you
gonna
know
lose
what's
a
funny,
client.
Andrew? Here's something interesting is I worked in the restaurant business for 20 years
Right.
before owning a salon. And, I was a kid. I got stuck in a weird position where I was like 23 and was managing a salon that I probably wasn't qualified to manage. And that's a whole separate legal conversation we'll have another day. But it's sort of like an aspirin. So if you had Tylenol behind the bar or whatever it is, and a client came in and said, man, I have a headache. Do you guys have any aspirin? As soon as you give them the aspirin, all of a sudden you start to get onto the pharmaceutical side. So then you're liable for that as well. So, my thing is this, that if anybody's doing home color kits or curbside, it should be a client. It should be someone you're familiar with. It should be someone that you're doing your formula. You shouldn't, listen, Madison Reed takes clients they've never met before and do this, crazy consultation via FaceTime. It should be someone you have a relationship with. So they should understand that while if they want to call Jacoby and Myers and get it in their eye and fight you over the waiver, it is what it is. You're trying to accommodate them for the time. It's kind of a crazy thing. My thing was that
there's
New
always
Jersey
that-
State Board says it's legal.
James, there's always those attorneys. No matter what we do, even if we say it's legal, there's an attorney who will say it's not legal. So that's a personal choice. If you need to stay in business, you make your personal choice. If you don't, and you have enough money to survive and you don't need to do it, that's a personal choice. So don't make an opinion on the group, I think is what we're getting at, right? To each their own, each person's their own individual business, and it's right. It's not right or wrong for anybody. So don't say it's illegal, it's legal. Make your own choices based on your own research.
yeah,
If you need-
absolutely,
Yeah, if you
absolutely.
if you need to call an attorney, whatever it is.
No,
But like
it's
when us as admins, because I know James called me about this, he said, hey man, somebody just said something about the New Jersey State Board. And I said, they're not even open. They haven't been open in
Yeah,
in 2
no,
months.
all-
Call your-
to
call-
me,
call your
all
own-
the
no, I'm
all
just
the
saying,
board
Andrew,
stuff
we'll get
is
into
bunk.
it.
It's
But
there's a
yeah,
difference
it's a lot of bunk.
There's a difference too between people getting called to do. Somebody posted about doing hair in their garage type of thing.
Yeah, that's a completely different thing, right? That's performing a service. You're within the 6 feet personal space. You're going to get busted. That's a complete different thing and should not be done. But if somebody's picking a package up, or if you're having an Uber driver
No
drop
argument
a
with
package
me.
off, whether it's
But I have
retail
to-
or whatever, that's
But I have to be honest with you. I know before we're ready to jump on soon, but we're doing some minor updates to the salon. So my joke always is my father is one that likes to paint. So if you have to paint a room in your house, he'll come up. As long as you give him lunch, he'll paint with you and do whatever. So
That's all it takes?
yeah, that's
Lunch?
it. He's pretty
I'm
easy
a
going.
good cook.
And what's funny is Andrew, he doesn't drink. So maybe if at a hot summer day, one beer is enough. So you can get away pretty cheap with my dad. So I
Jesus,
said to him,
fuck.
hey, listen, I said you're laid off. You know, everybody's furloughed, and he's in the construction business, but on the equipment side. And I said, hey, do you want to come up and paint? I said, I'll buy the supplies. I said, I'll take care of you, whatever. I'll get rain check later on. So he did. And I went into the salon this morning. We're all remote, so I could unlock alarms, the whole nine. So I went in and made sure whatever was there for him to go in. And then I left, and then he came up and I unlocked the doors remotely. And I said, it's so weird. I haven't seen my father in, we've been closed 4 weeks. I think we saw each other mid-February, somebody's birthday. I haven't seen my father in over 6 weeks. And here, it's my own father, where I know they've been quarantined. I'm sure he's okay, but he's got diabetes, so I'm worried about him in contact. And, you can't go to the hardware store to get any products. I already called my hardware guy, and I'm like, leave it outside if you need something, bill me later. That I couldn't even talk to him. And then here, clients are calling other people and saying, like, hey, can you come and cut my hair? Because I'm looking shaggy. It's like, what you should do is take your lawnmower out, and you should cut off their entire head. And you should say, oops, I'm sorry. That it's absolutely crazy that they're just oblivious.
Yeah,
Okay, so you guys ready to kick the show,
Wow.
right?
rock and roll.
Good stuff.
So you ready, Tina?
I'm ready.
Okay, you
Sorry,
guys
we got
mute
you all
yourself.
fired up, Tina. You're like, you should be supercharged.
Oh, that was a good before the show. We got everybody fired up finally, right? Everybody was sleeping when they first got on. Now we're ready to go. Tina's
Yep.
ready to go.
I'm ready.
So, okay, let's mute everybody. Guys, mute your mics, please. So, welcome everybody to tonight's Beauty Business Reset. I think we're on show 15 or 16, something like that. It's been a lot. And tonight's educator, we're excited to have Tina Black on, who is a published author and just a rock star in the industry. And Tina, so excited to have you tonight. With that, we'll get you started. It's all yours.
Thank you, Derek. That's so funny. Oscar just said I'm already exhausted. So yeah, so definitely don't need a cup of coffee tonight for sure. But I just wanted to say, first of all, thank you, Christine Zielinski, for introducing me to these characters. they really are amazing, Christine. So thank you so much for that. But first of all, I just want to say, Mr. Rogers, I grew up watching Mr. Rogers. I just loved him. And he said, in times of crisis, look to the helpers. And I just been watching the three of you, and I want to publicly acknowledge all three of you right now of what you're doing, because I know this is not easy, because every single night you are on these calls, and I just am so blessed to be learning from all of your guest artists. And I have been taking a ton of notes. I have a whole book form and stealing all kinds of quotes from you guys. So Nikki, oh my gosh, you're unbelievable. I just loved your messages. I can't wait to hear more from you as well too. But Derek, I just wanted to share with you, because I saw a word over you, and the word is integrity. You just have such incredible integrity. And I think that first and foremost, what we need in any business, and especially this industry. So I want to thank you for that. And the word I saw over you, James, was compassion, and just the compassion that you have for people. And it just shows why you're such an incredible leader. And the word I saw over you, Andrew, was a gold, G-O-L-D, digger, just the encouragement that you give people. And I started really thinking about those three words and that I saw over all of you. And honestly, you really, you can watch all these guest speakers, but really watch them. Watch their actions and what they're doing and who they are. Because if you have those three attributes, which the three of you have, integrity, compassion, and being a gold digger, you can be successful in any endeavor, any business that you're in, and especially in this business. And I believe for a fact that this is just really opening my eyes. This crisis has really opened my eyes. And today we had our salon team on, we've been doing weekly meetings with our team, and we go through masterminds. We do a lot of leadership masterminds. And today was the first day that I really broke down crying, and it was tears really more of, because we have a couple of our staff members that have really been suffering through this process. And one, her grandpa died of the disease, and just watching them and their pain and what they've been going through, but also tears of happiness that they have been sticking by us, and every single one of them showing up on these calls because they're all voluntary, and just seeing their faces and seeing the love they have for each other. And last week, one of our staff members had her birthday, and many of the staff members went over to her home, of course, keeping the physical distance in their car, to wish her happy birthday, and just to see the culture that's happening even when they're not so-called getting paid, right, to be in our business. So that just really opened up my eyes, and I almost couldn't stop crying today. And I thought I better pull myself together because I have to speak tonight. And normally, I'm going to be honest with you, my bedtime is normally 8 p.m., Derek. So for you to keep me from going to bed every night, I have been on every single call. And my family's like, what are you doing in there? And they're wondering why I'm always in here. And I'm like, well, you guys are binging on Netflix. I'm over here on Salon Owner Mastermind learning some things. And then they're testing me. Well, tell me what you earned, what you learned. And so, of course, I have to share with them what I learned as well. So I just want to ask you, you know, when you hear those 3 words, all of you that are watching this right now, when you hear those 3 words, I believe that the minute you got into this business, that you were those things too: integral, compassionate, and a gold digger. And I know for a fact, because I left dentistry to get into this business 20 plus years ago, that you have those 3 things. Because I left dentistry because you guys, all of the people in the beauty industry, are just incredibly compassionate individuals. And my husband, who had a lucrative law practice for many, many years, he was the one who talked me into going into this business. And he and I had decided a long time ago that we would much rather hang out with hairdressers than with other lawyers and dentists. And he was right, because you are a lot more fun and a lot more loving and a lot more compassionate as well too. So I just want to ask you, because have you lost your way? And I think this crisis has kind of gotten us to a point, it's really squeezed us tight to really show, because crisis reveals who we really are, because of the pressures. And did you lose your way of not really having a solid business plan? And if you lost your way, I mean, I think you can find your way back. And so I hope tonight just encourages you to find your way back, because we have a fork in the road we can take. We can go one way or the other. And I hope you'll choose this way. And I just want to share my story. But before I do that, I just want to ask you, when this crisis happened, I'm just curious, how were you squeezed? So when you squeeze a lemon, what do you get? You get lemon juice. When you squeeze an orange, you get orange juice. When you were squeezed, what came out? I'm just dying to know. So a 10.
We just use the rinds for cocktails.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. If you were a 10, that means you were calm, you were optimistic, you were kind. Or 1 to 9, you were kind of freaking out. You were glued to the TV and you were worried and started to have fear and freaking out. So just score yourself on here, 10 or a 1 through a 9. You know, where were you when this all happened? I see all the numbers are coming through. Yeah. How about you, James? Where were you at?
You know, I sort of had the writing on the wall. I mean, I was looking in the beginning of March, and you know, we're a sustainable business. We already had some things planned for April where we were going to close to do some events. So, you know, the clock was already ticking for me. So it wasn't an aha, like I knew it was coming, but I knew, you know, it's like when you see the weather reports, I know there was a storm coming, and it was just, you didn't want to be right, right? You said, hey, I'm going to plan, I'm going to try my best to maneuver it. You definitely didn't want to be the one to say, I knew it was going to happen. But, you know, there's a lot. I mean, listen, my wife and I work together, so it's a very varied, you know, she's taking care of the homeschooling. I'm contacting the clients. We knew it was coming in that way. So it's a very interesting household we live in right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd have to say for sure that when it happened that I was unfortunately, going against to what I talk about all of the time is I was glued to the TV. I was glued to the media, and fear just started to set in. I'm like, what am I doing? So I caught myself. I was probably at about an 8, and I caught myself and I stopped. And thank God you guys started this program, because it helped me to stop doing that. And so I started to make shifts.
Tina, with that, I'm glad you said that, because I got to tell you, now James and I talked about this probably way before it even came into fruition, just when we were starting to hear about it, some game planning. But poor Andrew, I dumped this on him on a Sunday night for this program when I got keyed up, and I got keyed up for my emotion for my own clients. I felt truly that we had to step in and do something immediately, not yesterday. And Andrew's like, are you kidding? I'm like, we got to put a website together in 2 days. We got to line up educators, all this. I mean, you can't believe the task it was. So, but not to pat ourselves on the back, but that's how keyed up we were as consultants, educators, helpers, being involved in the industry, truly caring about other people in the industry. I mean, it was like a whirlwind. I feel bad that I dumped on poor Andrew. And then James said, hey, I'll jump in and do this. I'll help you back it up. And now this poor guy's going, I mean, we're 17, 18 days into this nonstop every single night. And it's 4 or 5 hours a day setting this up. So,
Hey, listen, I got to say,
Amazing.
Easter
we were all
Sunday,
keyed up. Anybody that says they weren't keyed up is either stoned or lying, one or the other, right? So I mean, now we've come to a level playing field, I think, by trying to instruct people like you're doing right now. Get your head in the game, plan for what's coming up, and we can all make this happen together.
Yep, together. We're better together. And I love that. And so I just want to ask you all now to type in, because I think we have an opportunity right now of just, who do you want to be? I mean, I just started a B series, which I think is kind of ironic, about a year ago podcast. And it really came from my own research and my own self, that I needed this because I became a human doing and forgot that I was a human being. And so what I've realized is that to have, do, or be more, that I needed to become more. So when I do these podcasts, I really am looking for the golden people to see who they're becoming to get to what they want to have. So I just want to ask you this: who do you want to be when all of this is over? So type that in. Who do you want to be? I'm going to pull up my screen here and get this party started here. So who do you want to be? So what do we got? What's some answers here? I want to be better. Yeah. Better leader, fearless, stronger. Tom Cruise. So I did one of these little tests. Of course, I'm getting stuck on Facebook, when you press like, which celebrity do you look alike? And I was so excited because it said that I looked like Beyonce. So apparently I look like Beyonce. So I got excited about that. So I just want to share with you guys, I love it, on the way to Daring to Lead, my best self. I love it. I love it. And I just want to share with you guys a little bit of my story. And, in 2000, or actually it was 20 plus years ago. I don't know what year that was. Okay. I lost track, but my husband comes to me and says, hey, Tina, I'm going to buy a cosmetology school. I'm going to buy it as really an investment. And I was not happy at that moment, because I was super happy being in dentistry. I was at the top of my career. I was doing well. And I didn't even know what a cosmetology school was. And so then he would bring my daughter in there, who was 6 years old at the time, and she would get her hair done, and she was a figure skater. And he noticed that she would skate a heck of a lot better every time she got her hair done. And so he would tell me this, and he's like, you got to go in this school. You got to go in the school. And he finds out that the owner's selling it. And my daughter, who's 6, is like, hey, Daddy, yeah, will you buy this for me? And, years later, she's 28. She is my grandbaby's mom. She's also my business partner. And it's so ironic to kind of watch that. But, 20 plus years ago, having that opportunity, well, the only thing that got me to do it, he said one word. he said, Tina, I believe it's going to be a ministry for you. And so I've actually turned it into my ministry. And I remember distinctly that the first 10 years, I didn't collect a dime because I didn't need to. My husband made enough money, but I just was loving just speaking into people's lives and just really helping people. And, you know, when you were talking, Derek, earlier, you know, giving is the highest level of living. And the way to really succeed through life is to immediately think about who could you help. And immediately I'm in Marco Island, Florida right now. It's not too shabby of a place to quarantine. It's our second home and we've stayed down here. But immediately I put on, it's like an app that we have with all of our neighbors, next level neighbors. And immediately I put on there, if there's anybody who needs me to bring groceries, what can I do to help? Because there's so much negativity going on that app. And so I was just doing everything I could to help. And so I just want to say, you know, just the highest level of living truly is giving. And so I was living that giving life for 10 years. And inadvertently, I'll never forget when I became a Paul Mitchell school owner. And I had the opportunity in 2001 to become a Paul Mitchell school owner. And I remember when Kleba, who was my partner at the time, saying that I could actually collect a paycheck. And I was like, really? Wow, this is exciting, like an actual ministry that I'm actually making money. And so that was just like the icing on the cake at that time. Well, then, of course, I decided that, oh, well, if I could run a school, that I'd probably be really great at running a salon, not so much. And so this was right around 2003 to about 2006. And I'll never forget the day. I'll never forget the day when my team came to me, and at least they had the decency to come to me and tell me this. And they came and said they were all leaving. And literally $500,000 walked out that door from a small town. So it wasn't too much money, but $500,000 walked out that door between what they were making and what we put into the business and everything that we had done, you know, for that salon. And we had even hired a consulting business to work through the strategies, and it was incredible consulting business. But just they didn't want anything to do with it. And so years later, becoming a John Maxwell coach was 2013. And there was 150 of us, John Maxwell coaches, that went to Guatemala. We taught a course to 25,000 leaders there called Transformation Begins in Me. And I'm not going to lie, that was a transformational moment for me. And I came back that day, and we had just opened our third school. At the time, we have 4 Paul Mitchell schools now, and 3 salons, building our 4th salon right now. But that was when we had our 3rd salon. And I knew at that moment that salon failed because of me. I knew it had nothing to do with anything else. It didn't have anything to do with the economy, the location, or my people. It had everything to do with me. And that was a really, really kind of a enlightening moment for me. I came back, and was actually in the home that I am. And now this is my second home. I live in Michigan too. And I was down here, and I called up all of my leaders. My school wasn't doing very well here in Florida. And I couldn't figure out what it was, but I realized it was me. And I called them, and I just apologized for not being the leader that I should have been for them, with tears coming down my face. And I think they really knew at that moment that I really meant it. And it really, really helped us to bond a little closer. I was able to build a stronger relationship with them. And most importantly, I was able to build trust. And I'll tell you, from that point forward, that team is still with me today, that core team. And from that point forward, they have been just going to bat for me and everything that we do. And we've truly, truly have become family. They call it old Tina versus new Tina. And so sometimes old Tina will rear its ugly head, they say, but you know, for the most part, new Tina is definitely here. And that's really where I want to really inspire you. And I believe crisis that happens in our lives is actually what gives us that opportunity to give us the newness that we have. Crazy enough, I pick a word every year. I shouldn't have picked it, because my word this year is new. And, you know, we're talking like a new normal. And so I keep saying, well, new, bigger, better, different. through that process. And you know, that third school that I had was kind of like having a third child. James, you have 3 kids. You know what I'm talking about? It was like that third child, like, oh my gosh, like I'm in over my head here. I've got to figure something out, right? And then 2014, I get diagnosed with a precancerous lesion at the time. And so, but I want to tell you, you know, when you say with crisis, characters revealed, when that happened, I immediately went to gratitude and thinking, you know what, now I can help save women's lives from and prevent breast and ovarian cancer. And I became an ambassador for Bright Pink at that time. And so, but that only happened because of the 2 years being a part of the John Maxwell team and really focusing on growing myself through that process. And then a few years later, 2015, we get this opportunity to take over a celebrity's salon in Michigan. He had a salon outside of Detroit, and his parents were getting older, and he asked us if we would take it over for him. And you know, again, giving is the highest level of living, and I'm just thinking, I just want to help him. And so didn't even think about it, jumped feet first. And my daughter was my partner. And a couple of years later, after running that salon, realized that the team that was there didn't want to run an integral business. Like we were trying to shift things. It was a 1099 independent contracting salon, and we wanted to build a culture. We wanted to build a team. We wanted to scale the business, and they didn't want anything to do with it. We were in Australia and got a phone call that they were all gone. They left our business. But this time, I didn't have an anxiety attack like I had the first time, because I was ready for this. And my daughter and I looked at each other and said, okay, great. Now we can build the business that we want to build. And so that's what I'm hoping to encourage you, that maybe right now you can say, now I can build the business. And I believe, and this entire program that I do is really part of my ministry. It's a 6-month course. This program that we do, it's called the 5 Strategies of a Healthy Business. This program really came from all of my screw-ups, from all the mistakes that I made in my companies. It really came from not being educated. And, you know, we come from a place in our schools, I am not even kidding you. We've been in the business for 20 plus years, and I meet every brand new class in all of my schools. I'm a hands-on owner, and I will sit down with them and meet them and ask them, what are your goals? And literally about 90% of them want to own their own business. There is an entrepreneur spirit right now in America. And in my head, I'm thinking, okay, great. This is great, but I want to educate you. I want to educate you properly, because here's what's happened. And I've seen this happen to my future professionals over the years that have graduated. They're leaving the business. And so I said, okay, well, I want to come from a place of help. I want to help salon owners. I don't want them to be like me years ago and losing my business and having all that money walk out that door. Yesterday, we went and got a takeout dinner next to the takeout dinner on Marco Island, Florida. I didn't see this coming. And I saw a salon with a for sale sign on it. And I believe that is going to be a very common occurrence. I think we're going to see that over the next 18 months to 2 years for sale signs. And my heart just broke in two. And I tell you, just being a part of the Salon Owner Mastermind, Derek, I can't thank you enough, because just being able to tell my story and share a little bit about what we teach. And I think first and foremost, what I want to talk about is foundation, because foundation is
Tina, I just
everything.
want to jump in before you go to the next one. Thank you. All the coaches that are involved in this, I want everybody to know, if they aren't, if it doesn't break their heart right now what's going on, and they don't have a true feeling to help you, and it's just about marketing, I will kick their butts out of here so quick your head will spin. It's about integrity, and it is about helping. And that really almost brought tears to my eyes as a jarhead. So it's true. It's true, Tina. If you don't have a passion to fix this industry, even if you're an owner, if you don't have a passion to fix the industry and your own business, you shouldn't be involved right now.
Yeah. It's beautiful. And it just goes back to the word that I have for you is integrity. Integrity is everything. And, this is a picture of my husband and I. This is actually a few weeks after I had my surgery. I was cancer free and I didn't turn this trip down. We were in Africa. We got invited to Africa. Our Paul Mitchell schools have raised over, oh my gosh, $21 million for different charities. We actually feed 10,000 orphans every single day in Africa, but we had an opportunity to go to build 2 homes. And we were there, we built the 2 homes. Then we met a family, and the family needed a home, and we couldn't walk away from them. So we stayed that extra week instead of doing other activities that we're supposed to do, my husband and I, and we helped sponsor to build this home. And this was us putting down the cornerstone. And so it made me really think about today, do you really have your cornerstone built? And I think Nikki just, really explained it in entirety of what needs to be built with a cornerstone. 2017, we were hit by the eye of the hurricane here on Margot Island. And I remember years prior that when we built this home, years prior, they put poles down about 20, 25 feet. And I asked my husband, do they really have to do this? Do they really have to? And yeah, they really have to do this because if a storm hits, a hurricane hits, it won't fall down. And I have to be honest, when we got the phone call from my neighbor that our house was okay, I was shocked because I was kind of panicking just a little bit. Right. And so I was thinking about this crisis and any other crisis that we have, do you really have a solid foundation? Because if you have a solid foundation, I can guarantee you won't put up a for sale sign. And so maybe you're like me. Well, yeah, I have a solid foundation, but could I improve it? Yes, I think we all could. I think just learning from each other and building off of each other's expertise. But I'm going to just do a little quiz here to really kind of test you and kind of see where you're at. And I just want to see, can you, without looking on your culture module or your salon module, can you actually type in right now, your company's core value, beliefs, and mission? Can you type it out from your heart? And type it in if you can. Let's see if everyone can. I'm watching. Let me know if they have any answers here. I'm going to kind of watch too on the chat box.
Yeah, Tina, I'm watching Facebook too because there's a
thank you.
20-second lag.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of a lag behind it, but
yeah.
But the same thing, this is what a lot of salon owners have been talking about is that, if you didn't have a mission statement, if you didn't have a mission statement written down, if your team didn't know your mission statement, and your clients had no idea, that is foundation is the perfect thing. I don't care when you reopen, if you have to wear gloves, if you need to wear, my joke is wear the beehive, so beekeeper suit. I don't care what it is, but if your clients, your team, everybody doesn't know at least your mission statement, you might as well close because they should have known it when you opened. And I think salon owners sometimes are so proud. They've been in the industry so long. And like you said, every student, or Christine said on the Facebook group, every student wants to be an owner. So it's in your heart, but you need to wear it on your chest.
Yes. Yes.
Right? Otherwise it's, oh, well, never mind, right? Nobody's going to know what you're talking about.
I love that, James.
So I'll bring one for all you guys from the Marines, right? It was to surpass those who came before us and set the example for those who come after us. As simple as that. If you can come up with a core, and that truly was a core belief, right? CORPS instead of CORE, right? So that was our motto, and you should have your own motto, like Tina said. And if you don't have that and you don't know it, then you're failing yourself as an owner.
And you're right, Derek. And it's got to be here. You have to really know it. So when you're standing up and you're doing a class for your local cosmetology schools, does it come from your heart? Because I can tell you right now, I know for a fact that my Paul Mitchell students, they see right through that. They can see, because we know that culture is what makes us unique as a business. Because I always tell my future professionals, watch not just everything you're learning, but watch how we run a business here. Everything that's on the walls, everything that's written down. Because guess what? If it's not written down, it's not a system, because you can't hold people accountable to something that's not written down. My business partner, Sean Chito, is on here, and lucky for you, Sean, that you knew exactly what our core values are. And it's funny because I actually woke up in the middle of the night, because as I was writing these, I woke up in the middle of the night and I was just like, what are our core values? And Christine Zielinski, you and I wake up at 3 a.m. That's when our best ideas come. That's when I wrote all of my books, is at 3 a.m. And I know John Maxwell kind of taught us that as well too, right? But that's when your best ideas come. I mean, don't take sleeping pills. Wake up, because that's when your best creativity will happen. And I wrote them down, and I said, you know what? We're in the business of changing lives. I got into this business as a ministry. So guess what? I'm going to hire only people that are in the business of changing lives. And I'm also going to hire only people who want to be, and this is what downloaded to me on our values, lights in the community. So love, impact, generosity, humility, teamwork, and self-aware. And I can tell you this, that majority of our team can recite it. Can some of them not? No. So I've got some work to do as well too with our team. So you have to create them, and you have to train, and you have to sustain. Because I want you to know, like, this seems like it's all of the soft stuff, because most owners just want to focus, like Derek said earlier, just on strategy and marketing and branding, all the things that you can kind of track the ROI with. This is the soft stuff. And if you don't follow Patrick Lencioni, his book, The Advantage, is really incredible. And he describes how the ROI of building your culture as a brand is going to increase morale, it's going to decrease turnover, and it's going to increase your productivity, and it's going to eliminate politics and confusion. So if you would love to build that, put "oh yeah" in the comments. If you want to build, you know, the high morale, low turnover, and high productivity, put "oh yeah," because this is the secret sauce right here. You cannot surpass this. You've got to build a really solid foundation. So is all of your systems, are they in writing? You know, this is right here. This is my salon culture module, and it's always evolving, always evolving. In fact, recently we had found out one of our staff members who was gossiping for some time, and she didn't realize it was actually gossiping. She thought it was just venting, and she really thought it was okay. And I realized, you know what, I can't hold her accountable to that, because I really did not teach her how to communicate. So I spent a day putting together communication success tips, assessments, how we communicate in our company. We have an organization chart. And like Nikki said the other day, that honestly, build your org chart. Even if you only have 3 people, build it as if you have 30. Because I believe when you get your business ready, that 30 is going to come. Because with our company that Sean and I teach with Next Level, we're teaching anyone who wants to start a business, wants to grow a business, or scale a business. And that's exactly what we do. And I want to go back just for a second, because one of the salon owners that we have that does millions of dollars in a real lucrative town in Michigan, and he was starting to get cornered. He got to a point in his life where he had been running everything in his business, and his dad passed away. And so he had to walk away from his business for a while to really heal through that process. And so he wanted to take on a partner, and he hired us to come alongside him, because the partner wanted to turn it into an independent contracting salon, because they were losing money and getting really desperate. And Sean and I sat in his salon and just begged him not to do that. And he didn't. And I'm so glad he didn't. And don't get me wrong, okay? I am, a hybrid salon. I think it could be possible. And I'm only going to say I think, but I think it's just like mixing oil and water. Because going back to integrity, part of that is following the Department of Labor standards. Most salon owners have no clue about the Department of Labor standards, and they misclassify employees. One of the greatest resources is Tina Abertino, this uglybeautybusiness.com. And I'm really proud of this woman. My husband, who's an attorney, he asked me, he said, is she an attorney? Because she sounds like she's one, and she's not. But this girl is brilliant. She is smart. She has put together a lot of really incredible resources as well, too. But she opened up my eyes, and her articles are real simple to read and easy to understand. And we're starting to train our future professionals and our schools on this information because of the fact that most of them want to be business owners. And we had several of our graduates open up salons, and they were incorrectly running their salons as independent contracting salons and treating them like employees. And I'm telling you, you get hit by one of those misclassifying an employee, it is not a pretty sight. And so this salon owner came to me right after this crisis hit, and he sent me the most beautiful letter. And he said, thank you so much for not allowing me to do that, not allowing me, and kept it as an employee-based running salon. So when I coach salons, I stick really with W-2 employee-based salons because that's my expertise. And that's really where my heart is, because I believe it's all about your culture. It's all about your culture. And so systems, and we also, Sean and I teach Profit First. If you haven't read that book, it's incredible. We had a salon owner, husband and wife, who had never paid themselves. And when they first started our program, you could just see it on their face. They were stressed. You could just see it on their face. By the time they got done in the 6 months, and we were able to restructure their business and set them up for success, because I believe most salon owners just get themselves into a pickle because they don't have any type of behavior standards, because a culture is really how we do things around here, right? They don't have anything in writing. So what they have to do is dangle a carrot at that point, and by giving more money, because they can't dangle anything else, right? And so, but I'm going to tell you that people want to be a part of something bigger than themselves. So create something bigger than yourself. So let me ask you this. Yeah.
Tina, I got to jump in. Brilliant, right? First, build your foundation. Second, as an owner, pay yourself first, profit first, right? Multiple bank accounts.
Yep.
Love it. I love, you are awesome. I love this stuff. I really do. And I can tell you, a lot of people don't know my background in the group, but I was in labor relations for over 30 years. I ran the Public Employees Union for the state of New Jersey prior to getting involved with my wife and her salons. And I got bagged on labor relations issues because I jumped into a new industry. I let her run it, and she said, this is the way we do things, and it was wrong. Since then, I've had a passion to make salons run properly. The salons that don't, sooner or later, it's going to catch up to you. So I'm so glad you said that. It doesn't matter if you're hourly, you're commission, whatever. If you're not paying at least minimum wage and abiding to the labor laws, sooner or later, you're going to put yourself out of business unless you have a big bankroll.
Yeah, I love it. Tina J is asking who wrote the book. Michael, and I cannot say his last name, but I bet Sean, if he's on here, he can type it in for us. Thanks for showing up, Sean. I appreciate you on that too. So let's jump over. So maybe you need to fix your foundation. Maybe you're like the one salon owner that Sean and I had the first year that she said, you know what, I'm not even gonna work on the other 5 strategies. She said, I'm just going to work on my foundation. So she spent a whole year working on that. Another salon owner, she spent the first year with us and then the second year. And now we're trying to really get her vision statements a little bit shorter because they're a little bit long and a little bit wordy. And you could tell it's not really coming from her heart or her team's heart. And so let's jump into fixing your leadership. And something I just kind of want to mention that kind of goes along with what Nikki was saying last night, if you didn't hear her, is you really, really have to think about managing systems, not people. You want to lead people. And, you know, this is when it really just came to fruition for me, because I really didn't know what leadership was. I really thought it was just being an owner. I really didn't have a clue. And going through the program, I spent 1 year on leadership training. I spent an entire year on coaching, and then another year on speaking training. And it really transformed my life. But let me ask you this. Are you happy with the people that are working with you? And let me ask you this, would you partner with the people that work with you? And I tell you, when we hire team members to be on our team, we're hiring future partners. We have set up our company to take all of the risk, my husband and I, because we knew beyond a shadow of a doubt we wanted to grow. Now, we could have franchised. We could have just, you know, we could take on some other roles like what Nikki was talking about with, you know, having stock ownership as well too. And it's still something that we'll think about in the future. But right now what we're doing is partnering. And we partnered with our first partner, Hannah. At 18 years old, she started working for us. At 21, we partnered with her. This girl was doing over $100,000 a year in a small town in Michigan, mind you, in an area that is right next to a McDonald's. And so we partnered with her in the first salon. Did she need to grow into her leadership? Absolutely. But we've been right there with her, by her side, because we understand what it's going to take to be a leader. And so just listening to her and watching her growth at 22, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter how old you are, because, you know, experience, it has nothing to do with age. And we're proving it time and time again. Millennials run my companies, all of my companies. There's one baby boomer that's helping to run my company that's my age, but all the rest are millennials or whatever the next one is. So we're raising up the next. It doesn't matter. People are people, right? You just pour into their lives, because, you know, age doesn't matter, because sometimes age just comes alone, right? And
Tina, let me jump in a second. So based on last night and tonight, and I think there were a couple other lessons on this. You're bringing up an important point. People need a growth program, right? And if you're capping them now, you know, it's best to partner with them and help them open their own salons, and instead of letting them go out disgruntled and doing it on their own. Help them, build them, right? There's never a cap in your salon to say, okay, I can only make this much a month, okay? If you're a hustler and you get to this point, then we're going to help you open your new salon, right? Or if you're an owner who's looking for, and like you said earlier, an exit program, then we look at ESOPs, which are employee stock ownership programs, or something else, right? But if you're in that growing phase still as an owner and you want to help your employees grow, the brilliance of this is to help them open as a partner in their own salons.
Absolutely. And, you know, pour your life into them. You know, I always laugh when people say, oh, I want to be an owner because I want more flexibility. You're not going to have more flexibility. You're actually going to be working a lot more. So when you open, like, you have to really sit down and say, and we sit down with our people before, we want to find out exactly why they want to be an owner. We want to find out why. If you want to grow people for a living, then you're our partner. And that's what we're looking for. And so what's your specific growth plan this year? And let me ask you, what's your specific growth plan? So go ahead and type it in. Do you have a specific growth plan? And I will tell you, no judgment here, because when I was first asked this question, I didn't have a clue. I didn't even know what a growth plan was. And it's funny because I'm sitting here with my book, Be a Planner, that I wrote. And inside of it, I specifically lay out what my growth plan is. And I specifically lay out how you can build a growth plan. And of course, this is an incredible way doing the mastermind. So we actually started doing masterminds, and this is so every night you have something new that you can learn as well too. But what else? What else is your growth plan to grow you? To grow you, because, you know, here's the deal, you know, who you are is who you will attract. Who you are is who you will attract. So if you're not liking your people, look in the mirror. Look in the mirror And I'm telling you right now, it took me a long time to be able to see that I didn't want to look in the mirror because I just wanted to blame everybody around me and blame
Wait,
who
I
they
gotta
were.
I gotta throw one in there on you, Tina. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go
So
for it.
I think that some salon owners that have been on our calls and some that we know that have been in the salon owners mastermind group, there's been a very interesting thing that's been happening now because of unemployment and some of the pending loans and all that stuff. That I don't want to say anything to the negative, but some of your pseudo pretty decent employees show up on time, show up dressed, whatever. They may not have been leaders and they might have been anything, they were just good employees overall, not the best and not the worst, are starting to show their colors that
Yeah.
they are more interested in staying home and watching the Tiger King than they are about getting back to work and building your business. So I just wanted to throw that
Yeah.
in. It's been a resonating theme in the Salon Owners Mastermind group. So sorry to derail you, but
I'm so glad you said that because a crisis really, really separates the players from the pretenders. And we have been able to watch a couple of our team members, James, that have stepped up into a leadership role. And quite frankly, we weren't shocked, but we were really, really happy. And so to watch them, because I know that they're our next partners. And that's what we're looking for. We're always telling them, hey, we're watching you. We're watching to see who our next players are. And you know what? If you're not ready, it's okay. I'm here for you guys. And, I was telling you a couple of our staff members are really struggling. And you know what? I honor that journey and I'm right there with them too. And I know that they're not ready, but that's okay. And so we're going to work with you through that process. And so I think it's just really asking yourself great questions all of the time. I tell you, one of the books that we're doing our mastermind in right now and with our directors, with our schools right now is called The 4 Obsessions of an Extraordinary Executive. Highly recommend this book. It's a game changer for us. And I was telling my partner, Sean, I said, this needs to be one of the books we use all the time, every single year.
hold it up really close
Yeah.
to your camera so everybody can see the cover.
Yeah. I can't see my camera, so.
I can see you. So,
Okay.
so everybody should be able to see that because that's going to come up in the
Okay.
Facebook group next.
You're good. But Tina, like everybody in the group, I want everybody to understand, why are we building booth renters right now instead of building future owners?
Yeah, let's
Ask
build
yourself
people.
that question,
Yeah, let's
right?
build people.
Ask yourself that question. You're pushing them out the door when you have the opportunity to help them open their own business.
Here's the deal, Derek, is one is too small a number to achieve greatness. So why are you holding people back? Why are you holding people back? I had a couple of my future professionals go out of school, pretty close right out of school, right into a salon suite. And they were so honest with me and showed me their exact numbers, how much they were bleeding financially. And one of them said, you know what, Tina, I really messed up. I wasted 2 years of my life doing that. And he said, then I opened up a salon and I'm paying half the rent that I was paying at a salon suite. And he said, I can't believe I even did it. Right. And so, but he wasn't prepared. And so my heart was just like broken because I'm like, oh my gosh, we could have helped you through this process. I wish you would have just asked us to help you. And so, and then another student.
So Tina, I love that. So all in the group right now, let's think of what she just said. Let's build leaders, not booth renters. Let's build partners, not booth renters. Right?
Absolutely.
It's a simple mantra.
It is. And you know, I tell you, we're going through a book, which is interesting, called Girl Wash Your Face with Rachel Hollis. We always have a leadership mastermind going, and they chose that book. And last year I stopped them. I said, I don't want to read 4 chapters at a time like we normally do. I want to do 1 a month. And I'm so glad we did, because we're on chapter 10 right now. Today, we were going through the process with it. And I'm so glad we did, because leadership's a process. It's not an event. And you have to marinate in this stuff. And you have to, because it's knowledge plus action equals power. And so you can't just read a book together. Book clubs are great, but you have to like very distinctly say, okay, what's my action plan? And you have to be vulnerable enough to share your specific action plans with each other. So you as a leader, you know, Win Clayball, who I talked about, my partner years ago, he said, you as an owner, you as a business owner need to become a motivational speaker. And I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty pissed when he told us that, because I didn't sign up for that. But I'm so glad he pushed us to do that, because when you do that, your team sees you as an expert and you have more influence over them. So why would you want to hold yourself back from that opportunity? And so I just want to encourage all of you right now, just small steps that you can take to build people for a living. And the next one I want to talk about is fixing your communication. You know, communication is the one thing we fail at the most and we work at the least. And I'll be honest, this is an area that we're really working on in our companies. And the biggest thing for me is building the appropriate, solid relationships with everyone on our team. And the reason why I added the word appropriate, because I've watched salon owners out there that have built inappropriate relationships with their team. Because first of all, you shouldn't be their drinking partner or their party partner, because now all of a sudden you have set the intention of that's your culture. And so you've got to really watch yourself and build your character and set yourself above. And that's called the leadership lid, because they're watching, your people are watching you. And so what's the gap between where they're at and where you're at? If you're here, your business won't grow, because everything rises and falls on leadership, including your company. So you have to grow. If you want your people to grow, you have to go first. It's just a law. It's just the way it works. And so have you built a solid, appropriate relationships with your team? Have you built safety? You know, can they come to you and tell you when you suck? And are you coachable as well too? Or you're like, they're not respecting me. I'm telling you right now, I'm 55 years old. Old school authoritarian leadership does not work. Authentic, transparent leadership does, but it's also being appropriate in that matter as well too. So do you have a strong culture of accountability? You know, what does that look like? And I'll tell you what, I love Nikki, what she said yesterday. I shared it with my team today about having Google Docs of documentation. So that was like the best idea. I had to take our communication to the next level. Every single one of these areas, I'm always thinking, how can I take it to the next level? That's why you want to get around like-minded, higher-minded people like the Salon Owner Mastermind, because it helps you to think differently and you get new, fresh ideas. Always think, how can I be new, bigger, better, and different? Your people are relying on you. Your family is relying on you. Your community is relying on you. We have such incredible opportunities here. And then the bottom line is, do you have a specific communication plan? I'm not a fan of just open door policies. We used to do that. And I'm telling you, people are not coming knocking on your door, you know, open door policy. And even if they did, like, you don't want that. I highly recommend to schedule out communication. We are also, Sean and I are DISC personality assessment trainers and consultants. And we were coaching a salon owner and she works with her mom. I think I've realized that my expertise right now is working with families that work together, because I have my daughter working with me. I have my husband. My son just moved from California with his wife this week, and they're messaging us saying, how can we get into the family business? Which says a lot, because I believe that leadership starts at home. And so you've got to lead well at home, and you have to really figure that out when you're working with family, of how to really, really build that appropriate, solid relationship with them at work too, because all eyes are on you. The team is watching how you interact with your family member, and that can make or break your company as well. And so we got an opportunity to coach them with the DISC assessment. It does all the work for us, which is really awesome. And they had such a huge breakthrough today. And Derek, like you were saying, like, it just, when you see those breakthroughs, like I live for those breakthroughs when I see that happen. And I got a message later, and because I knew they were struggling, and to watch that breakthrough just made my heart sing today. And I'm like, this is why I do what I do. And that's what got me really excited. So specific communication plan. So, do you know it by heart? Like, do you really have a communication plan? Every day we have powwow with the team. Once a week, all of our salons get together via FaceTime and they do a powwow. Once a week, we have salon meetings and education. We actually, before this pandemic, we shut down every Tuesday. We used to only be open Wednesday through Saturday, a 4-day work week, because we wanted our team to not work so many hours, right? Because we did the smart booking. I know we're shifting that as we speak as well too, but we'll make sure we're continuing with our weekly education. We'll continue with our weekly salon meetings, because that's when we come together to do our masterminds, our leadership masterminds. Like, we're really focused. What Nikki said about not only IQ, but especially EQ, emotional intelligence. We're really working through that process because we know that's the most important thing, so that people can become people challengers and not just people pleasers as well too, especially our leaders as well. And then we have monthly one-on-ones, which is what we call PPF, professional, physical, and financial plan. And then once a week, they do their 7-minute target meetings, which really focus on their meetings, annual evaluations, and quarterly evaluations as well too. And so we really work it into our system to have a real strong communication plan. So yes or no, do you have a strong communication plan? Is it specific? And do you need to adjust it? And here's my recommendation, that just go to your team and just say, hey, I would love to make ourselves new, bigger, better, different. What ideas do you guys have that we can brainstorm to have stronger communication? Trust me, they will come up with some brilliant ideas for you as well. All right. Yeah, we say needs adjustment. Thanks for the honesty here. I love it. So fix your communication. Let's talk about fix your attitude. Here's the bottom line. Of course, with this pandemic that happened, watching yourself, what you're saying, right, to your team, because you cannot moan and lead at the same time. So put it in the chat box. Are you moaning or are you leading right now?
Hey, Tina, you should take this exact the light blue part that says attitude, fix your attitude, and post it every day at the same time at like 8 a.m. or when you and Christine do your John Maxwell thing at
Yes.
4:30 in the morning, and see every day the amount of comments that come in that are so different by the same statement every day. Do it for don't do it forever. Do it for 3 days, because I would love to see, because Facebook is like bananas right now with the amount of misinformation and craziness.
Yeah, I agree. I can imagine. And, I have some private Facebook pages myself. And to be honest with you, I block people and I also remove people when their attitude's not good, because I have to control that culture and that vibe, just like I do in my business. I have to control that culture. And we have a lot of, going back to culture and behavior, like this is how we do things around here. We have lists of non-negotiables that we go over and over and over again. We assess ourselves on a consistent basis. We have constant assessments all of the time to assess ourselves. How are we doing and how can we do better? What do we need to do differently to take ourselves to the next level? And this is on a consistent basis. And so I want to talk about you're not made in a crisis, you're revealed in a crisis. So what is this crisis revealed in you? And I truly believe, one of my mentors, Kelly Cardenas, talked about this recently, and I agree with him 100%, that whatever was squeezed out of you, or what's being squeezed out of you right now, and as you post on Facebook, it didn't happen because of this crisis. It happened long before. The seeds that have been planted in your life is the harvest that you're reaping right now. But guess what? I just want to encourage you, because right now you can switch that and you can start working on yourself. The highest form of leadership is leading ourselves. And so it's just working on character issues so that you can reap that harvest later. It's all part of the foundation that we're building as well too. And so remember, I talked about the law of the lid, and that's raising that leadership lid. I heard something recently, and I love this, these quotes, just about gratitude and love. And he said, the emotion of gratitude allows you to operate at a higher level. The emotion of gratitude allows you to operate at a higher level. So the consistent, like, do you have a gratitude practice? I started that many, many years ago. I'm part of the 5 a.m. club. I love getting up in the morning before everybody else. And I just spend like that first hour just in complete gratitude to people, reaching out to people as well too, and showing my gratitude. And then love, he said, when you come from a place of love, you will have the best solutions. And so how can you get into that place of consistent gratitude and love, right? So we just need that shot in our mind as well too. So how are you doing with your attitude? Do you need to fix your attitude? Do you need more gratitude? And do you need more love? And the last one, the 5 strategies of a healthy business, right? And like I said, this seems like the soft stuff, but you're going to get your best ROI from all of this. Going back, the culture that you build in your company is what's going to make or break your company. And so fixing your hiring. So once you focus on all of these areas, the hiring's pretty much fixed, right? Because you've got your values and you hire to your values. So I just want to share with you what we do. We actually, every staff member reads the book, The Ideal Team Player by Patrick Lencioni. It's part of our reading. So we actually have part of our education is books that they read. Anthony Whitaker's books we read on a consistent basis. Patrick Lencioni books we read. And we love The Ideal Team Player. It's so simple. If you haven't read it, you have to read it. But you're going to look at it and say, why didn't I think of that? But it's just basically 3 areas. My staff loves it. They love it. So we hire humble, hungry, and smart. So humble, we all know what that is. People that have humility, right? Hungry, people that just, really, really love this industry and they want to do well in this industry. They want to be our partners. They want to build salons as well too. And people who are self-smart. So they know their strengths, but they also know their weaknesses and they're really, really coachable. And we have a system, a non-negotiable, that we ask our team the minute they start, the first 90 days. I love Nikki's onboarding thing. Part of our onboarding is to go to your leader and say, how am I doing? How can I do better? And consistently ask different leaders in the company to say, how am I doing? How could I do better? So that's part of our culture of consistently asking those questions and for them to be ready to share, right? And so we only hire students out of school. Because I'm a Paul Mitchell school owner, we only hire Paul Mitchell students in our salon. But I coach a lot of salons that have access to so many schools. And I'm shocked when I hear that they're just like posting that they have jobs. It's like, are you serious? You're not in the school? Like, you should be showing up every day. Our best salon owners, the smartest ones, are in there day in and day out, and they are recruiting. And because if they ask us, hey, do you have any students for us? I'm like, are you serious? Like, they're all taken, all the smart.
Hey, Tina, I want to just ask you something.
Yeah.
So Amy on Facebook posted a message and said, what if you have people there before your culture and your values, and how do you get them on board? And I would add on to that is, what if all of this coaching now, I mean, most salons are going to be lucky if from today, it may be 4 weeks, if they're lucky to open. What if you said, shit, we need a culture now, and the owner is going to sit down and try to drill it out? Like, how do you get everybody on board if there wasn't one before, or if you're trying to invent one now?
All right. So here's what I always recommend for people to do. Don't you do as an owner. I always joke, but I want to write a book called Be a Sean, because Sean Chito is the CEO of all my companies. He's also my partner with Next Level Salon Leadership. And I had to find that one person that believed in me, that trusted me, and was there for me every step of the way. The one that has the most influence over your team. And so I'll ask them. So James, I'll say, who has the most influence in your company? And they'll give me a name. And I'm like, get them on your side. You meet with them on a consistent basis, because you get them to convert the team. You want to get, and so kind of going back to my screw up, our second salon walkout I was telling you about. Well, I knew exactly who the ringleader was, so to speak, in that company that had it. And unfortunately, it was just too far gone at that point. But there was no I couldn't turn it, but could I have done something differently? And I always ask our teams, I always say, is there anything more you could have done? Did you do everything possible? And when I look back and I think, man, I think I could have. I think I could have spent more time with this person and really poured into her and gotten to know her better, build that appropriate, solid relationship to build safety with her first. She might have been able to turn that team around to start thinking that way. But that's what James, that's what I normally recommend. I'm not going to lie. Most likely they're going to go. Most likely you're going to have to build new.
What's funny is that in these past few calls, right? So Christine was on, and Christine has sort of experienced walkouts, and I don't know. I have to wonder if I have to study John Maxwell, because I feel like as soon as you do, you have to change your whole culture, and you want to either fire everybody or they have to leave. But but Christine has had it.
James, I'm going to jump in here,
it.
right? I'm going to jump in from a military standpoint, because greatest leaderships on the planet, right, come from the military. I was in special forces. Greatest tier one, we're called tier one, right? If you're in the special forces, it's a hand-picked system. So you're building teams. There's no difference from a salon to that, believe it or not. One's holding a weapon, one's holding scissors, but it's the same leadership capabilities. So what Tina just said is very important. As an owner or as somebody running the team, right, in military teams, they're called SEAL team, a Marine team, whatever you want to call it, right? You have the leader, and then you have, we'll call it master sergeant, whatever. Usually the master sergeant or whoever is the team leader, like Tina just said. Pick that one person that has the cohesion of the team. And then you as the team, upper echelon team, need to know that person's responsible to you, and everybody under you, you need to know what their business is, when their business is, and whether they have the core virtues of your team. And the team picks that person that wants to join that team, right? So if your team isn't setting themselves to a standard above everybody else, where people want to join that team, that's where you're failing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, Tina, you had a couple more questions come in too. Lisa Renee said, and it's been various versions of this resonating through the Facebook group. Wait, hold on. People are typing in. It's so hard to relate when you're a salon with a small team of 6 to 7 people. As the owner, I always feel like all of these leadership roles are on my shoulders.
Yeah. And, that's where I would probably do, and I'm going to actually offer some free DISC assessments, because I think you got to know yourself to grow yourself, to kind of see where your tendency is. And the one that I was coaching today, I was telling you about, she's a high I. And so high I's tend to be people pleasers, and instead of people challengers. And I keep explaining to her today, I said, you're really actually going to please them more if you become a challenger. So to become a coach. So she kept calling herself the mom of the salon. And I said, I would take that word and I would exit out. Okay. Because this is a business, not a country club. And so watch your words that you use. And why don't you become a coach? Why don't you become a coach and help them to get to where you see that they can go? Because most people kind of see themselves down here, but you as a leader should see more and more before. And so how can you bridge that gap with them? And it's helping people to truly understand where they're at. It starts with awareness and then taking small shifts to help them grow. And it just really them borrowing your belief in them, I think, is what's really huge. And so kind of going back to how we do it. So our staff knows that we hire humble, hungry, smart, right? And so what we do is we require 3 to 5 hangout days. And we will sit down and throw out some interview questions with 3 to 5 different team members, but I don't hire our team. My staff hires our team in all of my schools and all of my salons, because they know exactly what we're working for. But going back to the salon owner of 6 or 7 people where she's carrying all the hats, I get it. Every salon owner we coach, that's exactly what they do. And I give them a sample org chart, and their name goes in all of them. I'm like, it's okay. You're going to still continue this, nothing changes. We're just going to take small shifts, small steps, and we're going to start with one.
Well,
one
here's
person.
Here's the lead.
Tina, quick question.
Oh, good.
James, I got to get this. Tina, quick question. How do you pick your number 2?
What'd you say? How do you
How
pick
do
your
you
number
pick your
two?
number two? The most
Yeah.
important pick in the whole business.
It's the most important pick in the whole business. And the way we did it, so my husband actually saw the what Sean was. And so Sean, he could see, he's like, Tina, do you understand that he used to run Home Depots? This is what he told me, my husband. He saw, and Sean, I'm like, he did? He's like, yeah. He said, he's your next person to run our companies. I said, really? And we sat down with him and just, talked with him and led with him. But we were watching him like, this kid, when he was a kid, he was in our core. He's been with me for years. And I remember when he first started in our school and he's like, I'm going to work for you someday. And I'm like, all right, peace, and he just kept like stalking us and coming after us. And he went into a salon for like a day and he said, no, I want to work here at the school. And since then he's filled every position and become the CEO of our companies. And I tell you, the reason why I know is because the team loves him. And you should see every time, like, I hope when you do salon meetings that you do, we call them facings or who inspired you. So in the very, very beginning, before we even start our salon meeting, we go around round table and they share who inspired them. It's really easy to find out who has the most influence because their name keeps coming up over and over and over again. That's your person. That's the person you go. But listen, I want to work with who I want to work with, and I don't want to work with who I don't want to work with either. And
Well,
so
this is a good lead in too for you, Tina. So Jeff, our friend Jeff from Aura, had said, I've been guilty of only wanting to work with people who I'd be happy being friends with. How can I manage my desire to be friends with my team while having an appropriate lid and leading upward?
Yeah. You know what? Just work on you. It's just small shifts. Like just start to invest in you, bet on you. And I'll tell you, like I said, when I joined the John Maxwell team, that's what I did. I bet on me. And there's so many things out there that you can do. There's so many masterminds. Join one of our masterminds. We're doing a bunch of free masterminds right now because of this pandemic going on. And this is, how we want to give back and give opportunity to people and just pour into their life. But I think it's just getting around higher minded people that really are investing in themselves and start building a new inner circle. Because, like people attract like people, right? And so how blessed am I that I got to start, hanging out with John Paul DeJoria and Win Claybaugh. Like they set the bar for me of what I was looking for. And so just getting exposed, like just get exposed to be the inner coherence is incredible.
Tina, us as owners, right? So for me in the Marines, we always had somebody that inspired us. Same as John Maxwell, right? Somebody just asked a question. How do you pick your number two if you have a small team? So there's always a number two, whether you like it or not, there's always a number two. So you better cultivate that person to be you're the John Maxwell, and that person is the owner, right? So that's why leadership's so important.
Yep. Yeah, John Maxwell has a number two, Mark Cole. And now Mark Cole's been with him for 20 years. Mark Cole is now running all of his companies. And it's just so incredible to be able to see and to watch how John Maxwell poured into his life. It's like his son. It's like we say about Sean, he's like my adopted son. He's wondering if he's on the will yet or not. But I told him he's not yet, but you never know.
So with that, right, the number twos have a number two, and that's how you build a team, right? So it just naturally keeps going. You find a number two that has the most interest. They're going to build your team underneath, and you're going to keep building it and building, and that's promotion and that's growth.
I love it, and muted right now. Oh, that salon owner that has 6 people. I mean, that could be her leadership team. She could build that as her entire leadership team. And, this is what we do. We'll take an org chart and we'll say, hey, where do you see yourself on this org chart, right? Where do you see yourself? And just dream. Where do you see yourself? Well, I see myself here. Okay, this is how we started doing this. I'm not sure who asked this question, but then what we did is we said, hey, I want you to write the job description, your dream job description for that position. And that's how we had all of our systems, right? We worked on all of these together. She's at a great position to be able to say, hey, I just did this course at Salon Owner Mastermind, and I just want to share with you some ideas. I want to get your opinion on this and see how they respond. And they might just get so excited where you get a bunch of posters up and markers. Maybe you're just on Zoom right now and everybody's, brainstorming and getting ideas. But then when you get together, you can do this. This is how we've written all of our systems. We did it together with our core team. And we've grown. We're building our 4th salon this year in 5 years. But that's just from pouring into them and pouring into their life.
Tina, I believe, you've done an amazing job. And my hat's off to you. Really. And I believe
Thank
that
you.
everyone on this call can do the same thing.
Yes.
Not exactly in their own way, but grow whatever they want to grow and become whoever they want to become. It's possible. The possibilities that we have are endless. It's extraordinary. You've shown the way, Derek's shown the way, James, everyone here. And we do it in our own way, but we all do it. And you presented such a powerful evening. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What a journey.
Thank you.
What
Thank you.
amazing.
I appreciate that, Andrew. And something I just want to offer to you guys, if you buy one of my books, all you have to do is go to my website, tinablack.net. Sean and I want to give you a free DISC assessment tonight and a free 1-hour coaching with that DISC assessment. And again, you must know yourself to grow yourself. Those are so fun. I love doing assessments. This is probably one of the best assessments out there, the John Maxwell assessment, and I highly, highly recommend. So we want to give that back to you as well too, and give you an opportunity to stay in touch with us as well. Derek, because of the way that you ran this Salon Owner Mastermind, I had actually started a group a couple of years ago, and it was just lying dormant. It's called the Salon Owner Network, which I started in 2017. And then Christine Zielinski calls me up and says, hey, I think we should offer some kind of like event online. And I'm like, yes, let's do what Derek's doing, right? And so we started. It's a small core group that we have in there. Of course, we have a goal to grow as big as you. You're my mentor in that area, but it's called, there's the bit.ly Salon Network. And so you can join us and be a part of that group. But we're speaking on Thursdays right now at noon for the next 4 weeks as well too. So definitely join us with that. You can find me on Facebook. I need more followers on Instagram too. So Tina M. Black PMTS is my Instagram. And then our next level salon ownership is NL Salon Leadership. So we'd love to have you guys join us as well too. And however we can add
Hey
value
gang,
to you.
make sure you jump on this stuff. Tina, Christine, very dear friends of mine. The John Maxwell stuff. If you want to learn stuff that are not John Maxwell, but take John Maxwell out of the equation, but relate it to the salon industry. Mm-hmm. If you want to relate it to the salon industry, you need to talk to Tina and Christine. Fantastic stuff. Leadership is leadership, and it's a great training program to go through. Me, I have my own military thing, right? So, but honestly, John's stuff is very militant. It has a hierarchy and it builds on that, and it's fantastic stuff. And I thank you so much, Tina, for your expertise tonight. And guys, follow this stuff, jump on, get her books, get a free coaching call, whatever you need to do, but just do it. No matter who you pick, get a mentor. It's very important, even if it's a paid one or a non-paid one, just have somebody you can bounce ideas off, but make sure that person is somebody who can make you fly, right? Because you don't want to surround yourselves with naysayers or people that are, negative Nancy's, just not going to fly. You want to rebuild yourself. You want to be in the beauty business reset, get your asses into it and get it done, period.
Get her done. I love it. I just want to leave you with a quote from my partner, John Paul DeJoria. And he said this years ago, and it's hit home so much, but in the end, it will be okay. And if it's not okay, it's not the end. So thank you guys.
Thank you, Tina.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Tina, awesome, awesome, awesome. Loved it.
I appreciate
Tina,
you
you're
guys.
lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Just remember, you can watch the video on YouTube. You can watch the replay on Salon Ops YouTube channel. And tomorrow night, same time, same bad channel, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, guys, make sure when you go to YouTube, you subscribe. We're close. How far are we, Derek? We're like 5 away. So 5 of you just finished so we can finish out the channel. And tomorrow we have Jay Williams, who is one of my good friends and one of my faves. So
Oh my God, Jay is going to kill
blowing
it
your
tomorrow
mind.
night. So make sure you're on here. Should be an awesome, awesome class. You won't be disappointed. And we're bringing you this stuff every night. So hang in there. We're hanging in there, and we're all in this together. Have a great evening, everybody.
See you all.
Good night. Thank you. I'll see you, Andrew. Thank you.
Thank you, James.